Let's talk about the most powerful and complex object in the known universe. And no, it's not some distant star. It's that 3-pound chunk of tissue between your ears that is, right now, creating your entire reality.
So let me start by asking you a really simple question. How are you seeing the world around you right now? The obvious answer, of course, is with my eyes. They're your windows to the world, right? But what if I told you that's not really true? The real answer is no. You don't see with your eyes. You see with your brain. Think of your eyes like cameras. They just capture raw data, patterns of light. But the actual experience, the rich, colorful 3D world you feel like you're in, that's a movie being produced in real time inside your head.
And here's some crazy proof. Right now, in each of your eyes, there's a blind spot, a literal hole in your vision where the optic nerve connects. But you don't walk around seeing 2 black splotches, do you? Nope. That's because your brain takes the information from the surrounding area and just fills in the gap. It makes an educated guess about what should be there. Your brain is constantly getting incomplete data and predicting the rest. In fact, some neuroscientists go so far as to call our entire perception a kind of controlled hallucination. Now, what's amazing is that this reality-generating machine is physically tiny. On average, it's only about 2% of your body weight. That's it. But, and this is just wild, while it's only 2% of your weight, it burns a whopping 20% of your daily calories. It is an incredibly power-hungry organ, running on just about 20 watts of power, basically the same as a dim light bulb. So how does it do so much with so little? Well, to get it, you have to stop thinking of the brain as one single thing. It's much more useful to think of it as an internal team of specialists. And like any team, they don't always agree. They're constantly competing for control of the situation and for control of you. First up, meet the amygdala. This is your threat detector. It's ancient, it's fast, and its only job is to scan the environment for danger and scream, "Watch out." It's responsible for that jolt of fear or anger you feel before you even consciously know why. It's your act first, think later department. Then you've got the prefrontal cortex. If the amygdala is the alarm system, this is the calm, cool, collected CEO. It's the part that handles logic, planning for the future, and crucially, telling the amygdala to chill out. Now, the funny thing is, this part of the brain isn't fully developed until you're around 25, which, suddenly makes your teenage years make a whole lot more sense, right? Next is the basal ganglia. This is your autopilot. Since the brain is so energy hungry, its main job is to find ways to save fuel. So it takes your common behaviors like driving a familiar route or brushing your teeth and turns them into automated routines or habits that can run in the background without any conscious thought. And finally, for our team, we have the hippocampus. This is your memory builder. It's absolutely vital for learning and making new memories. But here's the twist. It's not a video recorder playing back the past perfectly. Every single time you recall a memory, your hippocampus actually rebuilds it on the spot, which means your memories can, and often do, change over time. Okay, so now that we've met the team, let's put it all together. Because the constant arguments and collaborations between these parts explain so many of those weird, everyday human behaviors that can drive us crazy. Ever wonder why bad habits are so ridiculously hard to break? Well, it's because of the basal ganglia, our autopilot. It runs on a super simple, super powerful 3-step process called the habit loop. First, there's a cue, like your phone buzzing. That triggers the routine, checking your notifications, which then delivers a tiny reward, like a hit of dopamine. Once that loop is built, it runs automatically. This sets up the classic battle inside your head. On one side, you've got the habit brain, the basal ganglia. It's fast, automatic, and uses almost no energy. On the other side is your thinking brain, the prefrontal cortex. It's slow, deliberate, and a massive energy hog. So when you try to use willpower to break a habit, you're pitting the slow, tired CEO against a lightning-fast, efficient autopilot. Who do you think wins most of the time? Yeah, the autopilot has a serious home field advantage. Or how about this? Why does getting a mean comment online or being left out by friends hurt so much? Like physically hurt? It's because your threat detector, the amygdala, evolved back when we lived in small tribes. And back then, being socially rejected, kicked out of the group, was a death sentence. So your brain is wired to treat social threats with the exact same alarm bells it uses for physical pain. And what's really scary is that this system can be permanently altered. Being under chronic stress isn't just a bad feeling. It physically rewires your brain. It actually makes your amygdala bigger and more reactive, so you're more anxious. At the same time, it shrinks your memory-building hippocampus and weakens the connections to your rational CEO, the prefrontal cortex. It literally reshapes your brain to be more reactive and less thoughtful. But, and this is honestly the most important and hopeful idea in all of neuroscience, your brain is not set in stone. You can change it. You are the architect of your own mind. The scientific term for this is neuroplasticity, and it's your superpower. The basic rule for how this works is beautifully simple. You just have to remember this phrase: neurons that fire together, wire together. Every single time you have a thought, feel an emotion, or do an action, a specific chain of neurons fires. The more you repeat that pattern, the stronger that physical connection becomes. So what this means is that your thoughts are not just these invisible fleeting things. They are physical events that change your brain's structure. If you constantly repeat a negative thought, you are physically building a pessimism circuit. On the flip side, if you practice a new skill or even just focus your attention on something positive, you are physically building circuits for mastery and happiness. You are literally sculpting your brain every second of every day. Okay, I want to leave you with one final mind-bending twist that ties all of this together. It's a little strange, but stick with me. Think about it. When light hits your eye or a sound hits your eardrum, that information has to travel through your nerves and get processed by different parts of your brain before you can have a conscious experience of it. And that journey takes time. How much time? On average, about 80 milliseconds. It might not sound like a lot, but what it means is that you are never, ever experiencing reality in real time. You're always living just a fraction of a second in the past. Your conscious experience of now is actually a seamless, edited-together story about what just happened a moment ago. Your mind is less the star of the show and more like a narrator, explaining a scene that is already finished. And that leaves us with one final big question to ponder. If your entire reality is a story constructed by your brain, based on information from the past, then who or what is actually in charge of your present?